This show bills itself as an occasionally true story, but just how many liberties are they taking with history? Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 facts Hulu's The Great got right and wrong. For this list, we'll be fact-checking this comedy drama about Catherine the Great. Be warned, there will be spoilers. Number 10. Catherine and Peter's first meeting. Wrong. One major element that's altered in The Great is the historical timeline. On the show, we see Catherine traveling to Russia as a young woman to meet her future husband Peter III.
You look taller in your portrait. Send her back. Get me a tall one.
In fact, though, she was just 10 years old when she met him in real life, and he wasn't much older. It's interesting to note that she immediately disliked him, finding him pale and childish.
Obviously, some cultural issues may be at play, but I will soon get used to that, and we will be as one.
He also wasn't already emperor when the two met like he is in the show. Of course, because they were both children upon their first meeting, they weren't married right away, but waited until 1745 when Catherine was 16.
But a toast to my new wife, the new Empress of Russia!
Number 9. Peter's parents. Wrong.
I miss my mother today. How she would have loved this.
Another way The Great takes significant liberties with fact is in the Russian royal family's lineage. On the show, Peter III, Catherine's husband and the current emperor, is said to be the son of Peter the Great, a legacy that he has a hard time living up to. In reality, though, Peter the Great was Peter III's grandfather, not his father. There's also much talk on the show about Peter's relationship with his mother, who we hear was cold and borderline abusive to him.
She would level a gaze at him and hold him in it, and he would fall silent and go so still. And then tears would run from his eyes, and his whole body would begin shaking uncontrollably, and urine would pool at his feet.
But in real life, Peter's mother, Grand Duchess Anna Petrovna, died just weeks after his birth. So the two had no significant relationship, and she didn't have time to traumatize him.
This is Mother. I would not bury her. I could not bear the thought of never seeing her.
Number 8. Catherine's passions. Right. When we meet Catherine on the show, she's seen as young and optimistic, with hopes of reforming Russia for the better.
We had strawberries last night, so they are an expensive fruit. I always equate them with optimism and happiness. God, you're a child.
She's interested in literature and progressive ideas and has a passion for education.
May I learn?
You must.
In fact, in the show's first episode, we see her take on the task of building a school for women, after learning that the ladies at court can't read. Unfortunately, Peter thwarts her efforts.
You burned my school down.
I did. Well, you may go. I forgive you, of course, as I am of gentle heart and massive cock.
In real life, however, Catherine successfully founded 2 institutes for education: the Smolny Institute for Russian nobles and the Novodevichi Institute for commoners. Number 7. Lemons as contraception. Right.
Go seed your wife. Get us an heir.
I will.
In the show's 6th episode, we see Catherine panicking because the emperor wants to sleep with her, but she desperately doesn't want to get pregnant with his baby. What's an 18th century lady to do?
I cannot have his child.
Lemon tops.
Well, her lady-in-waiting gives her the idea to try using a lemon top as a kind of diaphragm, which was also supposed to kill sperm with its acidity.
Put this inside you, it acts as a wall, and the acid kills its juice.
According to the show's creator Tony McNamara, this was actually a historical method of birth control that was used before more sophisticated devices were invented. Don't try this one at home though, ladies. Number 6. Peter III's policies. Wrong.
We're in fact modernizing in a European way. I have banned beards in men under 50. It is a better look. The big Russian beards look like men are eating a whole beaver, and it will not do.
Peter III has gone down in history as something of a villain, largely because Catherine, who ultimately overthrew his rule, was the one who had control of the narrative. The show willingly paints him as the primary antagonist of the story and makes him seem like a stubborn ruler who was unwilling to consider progressive ideas.
Women are for seeding, not reading. Pithy. Jen. I said women are for seeding, not reading.
The reality is, though, Peter actually reformed Russia for the better during his reign. Not only did he allow religious freedom, but he also was a proponent of education. On top of that, he also improved the policies of the Russian army and even abolished the notoriously violent secret police.
Did these ideas come to you in a dream?
No, I came up with them. And Catherine, who knows art stuff.
Number 5. Catherine was inoculated against smallpox. Right. In the show's 7th episode, we see the Russian court struggling with a smallpox outbreak.
You're sure it is the pox?
My mother died from it. I will remember those markings for the rest of my life.
In a dramatic scene near the episode's end, Catherine stands up in front of the courtiers and infects herself with the disease in a primitive attempt at inoculation.
Who will join me in moving our country forward?
While it didn't go down exactly like this in real life, Catherine the Great was a pioneer in terms of encouraging Russian citizens to receive smallpox vaccines. And she was in fact inoculated herself by British Dr. Thomas Dimsdale, despite the fact that many believed it to be dangerous.
But it could work.
There has been some success.
Good. You will gather pus from the sick, and we will go to the Patriarch and the Emperor with our idea.
Interestingly enough, all of this was written before the coronavirus pandemic, and was eerily relevant upon the show's release. Number 4. Sex in the hallways. Probably wrong. Series creator Tony McNamara recalls reading about how the upper classes would have sex in front of their servants because they were hardly regarded as being human. And he decided to incorporate this idea into the show in an even more over-the-top way. McNamara portrays the Russian court as morally loose and full of sex and violence. We see characters having sex in the palace hallways with seemingly no regard for whether anyone sees them. Peter even had sex with a man's wife while the poor guy sleeps in a chair beside the bed. While these are not incidents based in reality, the intention was to create a portrait of a corrupt nobility.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
Number 3. The Coup. Right and wrong. The basic facts seen in The Great regarding Catherine's coup to take the throne for herself and overthrow her husband are true. But the details get very muddled.
Everyone stop. We are not killing anyone. We are not ready. The pieces are not in place. We will not fail because we panicked.
First off, on the show we see Catherine begin to contemplate the coup shortly after arriving at the palace. But in reality, they'd been married for 18 years before she forced him to abdicate.
Give it up. I do not want any more bloodshed in this. Abdicate.
Abdicate.
As on the show, he found out what she was planning, which accelerated the process. And in terms of what actually became of Peter III, we still don't know.
You are playing a game on me.
I love that you see that.
You witch.
It is a game where we both win. So we have a deal.
He died just days after the rule was passed to Catherine, but there's no confirmation as to what his cause of death truly was, with many speculating that he was assassinated. Number 2. Peter and Catherine's lovers. Right and wrong. Just like we see on the show, Peter and Catherine's marriage was filled with difficulty, and they had little affection for one another.
We've got problems, haven't we? You are the only person who has not loved me. 'Tis inconceivable to me and says nothing good about you.
Both parties openly had other sexual partners during their marriage, but the actual people they were involved with were not the ones depicted on The Great.
Oh, George.
Oh, dear. There.
Georgina Dimov, the woman who we see Peter being involved with, was a character created for the show. And so was Leo Voronsky, Catherine's lover.
In this world, in these walls, we are happy. We have everything. That is all we can do at present. We can do it well.
In real life, Catherine was involved with Sergei Saltykov, a member of the military who was rumored to be the real father of Catherine's son. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Rumors about bestiality. Right. Despite everything that she accomplished during her long reign, for many people, the only memorable thing about Catherine the Great is the rumor that she engaged in sexual acts with a horse, which purportedly caused her death.
A what? No!
Well, I assumed not, but it never hurts to ask.
Oh my God. They just neighed at me in the hall.
On the show, they changed the rumor around a bit, with a rival claiming that Catherine wasn't a virgin upon her marriage because she'd experimented with bestiality.
Do not fluster. No good Christian will believe it. You have our respect, Empress.
It was a bold move for the show's creators to address this rumor head-on. And they managed to give a commentary that draws to mind the way that powerful women are still slandered today.
Do not ever do that. That goes for all of you. Am I heard?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.